welcome. This is your reflective journal. This is in 3 parts. It's a nice light topic, but it does get you thinking a lot. I'll put it in 3 parts because the questions are based in 3 parts. So part 1, it's all about leadership, mentoring, and coaching. So when I teach you how to get into Moodle, you're going to go under leadership and communication. You're going to go under reflection PowerPoints 1, 2, and 3. And this one is going to be reflective journal PowerPoints part 1. Hopefully you've got your workbook open up already and ready to go. So here's your first part of your questions, and this is what it's asking. Leadership. Leadership has been quite a big example over the last 3 to 4 weeks of COVID. We're going to talk about what qualities our leader has, and we're going to talk about leaders in different areas as well. So a leadership is to influence with power to a group of people. When you have a leader, you want to aspire to that person, you want to be that person, you want to give her all your best, or him all your best. That leader has certain qualities, and a good leader shows how a really good organization is run, and it's run effectively, and it's run really, really well, and there's not many gaps in that organization. So we're going to talk about good and bad leaders next. Okay, straight away, let's go to number 2, government. Yes. Who is, and you tell me right now, out of government, out of America, England, or Brits, I guess now, and New Zealand, who would you say is being most effective and the best leader at present? Oh, Jacinda, I hear you say. Well done. We're in week 3 and we have more people recovered than we do actually with the coronavirus. We've only had 9 deaths, whereas you look at the stats in America and in the UK, it's horrific because their leader, a little bit blasé, especially, of course, Mr. Trump. Sorry to offend all your Trump fans there. How about in history? Tell me another dictator or leader which led his country to millions of deaths. Well done. Hitler was one, I can hear you say. Yeah, not a great leader for his country, you might think, but worldwide he caused World War I, was that right? Or 2, you tell me, but he literally led a lot more people to their deaths than he did their savior. Okay, in religion, it's very controversial. Everybody has their own leader in religion. Everybody looks up to a different leader, and that's cool. Okay, so every religion is different. Of course, there are some religions that you can say borderline cult, and they are led to believe certain that bad is good and good is bad. So you can talk about that yourselves. Dance and music. Okay, everyone has their own. Loves their own type of music, and they have a leader which they think, oh my gosh, he or she does everything that I love. So for me, don't laugh, I think Tom Jones is a great leader. He's an all-rounder. He does electric dance, he does slow dance, he does pop dance, and he is still going strong, 81 years of age and still performing. So that's my leader, and I want you to think about, who is yours? I give you 2 minutes, 1 minute to think who your leader might be in music. Okay, if you've got a pop idol, why? What makes you think of that person as a bit of a leader? Cool, just giving you time, Sports. Some of you are really into sports, some of your kids are, some of your family are. Most sports, when it's individualized, like rugby, hockey, that's just going on my own personal experience with my kids, they like to look up to someone. They like to have a role model. There's certain things that they like to follow. For example, my son is on Instagram and he follows Adi Sevilla. He still follows Dan Carter. Because he is a role model. He's quite clean cut. He has led his team through many victories, and he looks good. And he looks a picture of health. He's not smoking. He's not drinking. Yes, he had a mishap, but hey, he's only human. So anyway, we're going to talk. You can discuss why is your leaders good and why are your leaders bad, and we're going to go and talk about those qualities and put those qualities into each leader. So qualities, I want you to think of a good leader and a bad leader. Do you want me to give you an example? Jacinda Ardern, Donald Trump. All right. So Jacinda Ardern, I would say she has had honesty and integrity. She has followed through with what she said. She's not said one thing and gone back on it. Donald Trump has said that he originally thought this was the COVID-19 was a complete conspiracy and it was all lies. And he wasn't listening to the professionals that were giving him information. Therefore, we could not trust him, could we? He had no trust and he wasn't honest and he led a lot of people to their deaths. So clearly, he hasn't got that quality. Confidence. To be fair, they both are confident in what they say and they make us believe them. One has proof behind the pudding, one doesn't. Inspiration. Does it make you want to listen and follow that leader because you can see good is coming out of it? That's what's one of the inspirations. Not only just thinking about Jacinda and Ardern and Donald Trump, I want you to start thinking about work, your workplace. If you're not in work at the moment, think about previous workplaces. So I want you to start thinking about where you've worked in the future in case you don't have someone right now. Okay, your leader, commitment and passion. Are they there when you turn up? Do you know where they are? Are they committed to their job or only there because they're getting paid a lot of money? Okay, are they passionate about what they do? Do they still love what they do? Like I'm still absolutely enjoying my job right now, even though we're in lockdown. I feel like I can give a lot more and I'm passionate about it. But some people in lockdown will find, oh, it's all over. I don't know what I can do. I'm not passionate. This sucks. And they can become on a depression mode. So you've got to think of those qualities in your leader. Some of your leaders who are in work right now, I can imagine their commitment is 100 miles an hour and they are passionate about keeping safety and keeping well within the industry. So you'll see a lot of drive coming from your leaders right now. Communicator is huge. It's also lost in some of the leaders. A good communicator feeds down through all the tiers. A big organization has a CEO, they have a management, then they have a sub-management, then they have leaders of the staff, and then they have staff. Whatever comes from the top should always come down to the bottom. We don't want Chinese whisper where something is misinterpreted. So great communicator is huge. A leader decision-making capabilities. When they make a decision, let's hope it's the right one. We hope they're honest, they're confident in their decision, and they have backing on that. They are explaining why they've made this decision. They also know their industry that they are leading really well, that the decision they make is the correct one. It's not off the wing. It's not off the cuff. It's not a guess. They know it's going to work well. They know they have the resources for this decision that they've made is going to work well, and they have done their homework. And you'll know that, and you can see that. Mainly you see that in results afterwards, but once they talk and describe why they've made this decision, it makes logic to you as well. Okay, another quality, accountability. What does that mean? Can you count on them? Can you account on them? There's many reasons. Can you go to them and ask questions? Can you go to them with a concern without getting bullied or picked on? Can you go to work knowing that your particular leader is going to be there and there's someone to go to? Can you count on them to communicate to you to know what is up and coming over the next week? Okay, so accountability is quite broad. It's just not about them being there. It's about that they've put plans in place for you to survive. Not survive, but for you to be able to do your job well and do it really well. Leaders at different tiers, okay, from CEO to management just to lead HCAs. They need to be able to delegate and know who to delegate to. So RNs are now having to delegate a lot to their healthcare assistants. They need to delegate to things that they know that you are good at and they are confident in you doing certain tasks, because now they have a different lead of doing a lot more paperwork, sadly. So some leadership qualities, most leadership qualities, when they do delegate, they delegate to the right people. And when they delegate to the right people, it empowers them. those people that are good at their job that has been delegated a certain task feel rewarded because they know they're good at it and they've been recognized and they are empowered as well. Also, that makes the whole industry run smoother. But if they delegate to someone that can't do their job, things are going to start to crumble. Then the empowerment has gone and the actual job and task in hand has not been delivered effectively, dangerously, so to speak. So you can think of two ways there. You might recognize some of those good and bad things. Cool. Last two, creatively and innovation. Right. Now, I hear lots of stories from you guys, and it's fantastic. Some rest homes and hospitals are going with the now, and they are quite techno savvy, so to speak. And they're doing really well with computers, and they're taking it up on board, getting new packages, new software of how to store all their equipment, store all their notes, how to pass on notes. And then I've also heard that some people are still doing the old write it in the book. Okay. At least they're writing it. Okay. At least it's being documented. That's great. But there is so much more out there now. The only sad thing is some things do cost, and I can imagine that being a barrier. But a leader should be constantly thinking creatively how to do what's been done for years better, more effective, more efficient, and overall better quality for your client and for you. Okay, so one tiny example is when we do our practical, you guys are doing it all the time and it's fantastic, but we bring you back to ACC government guidelines, which are always being updated. Now, in your ACC government guidelines for manual handling, Lewis and I will look at your body positioning. So you're looking after your back. We're going to be looking at how when you do this particular move, you are got your body principles correct, your knees are bent, your back is straight, and you're using your whole body, not just arms. So that's how ACC have tried to be creative and innovated on how to move people with less effort from you and safer for the client. So that's one way. But creativity and innovation can also be about how you can swipe into lockdown areas for dementia care. Creativity is your handover notes, what's most efficient, communication, how to get that communication tool easily accessible, not just reading someone's handwriting that you might not be able to understand. Our creativity and innovation is doing this, talking to a little square screen while we follow a PowerPoint. And we're just condensing everything. Cool. Empathy. Empathy is lost sometimes in leaders. Empathy can be from you ringing up to say, I am so upset, my cat passed away this morning. I'm just absolutely beside myself. Now, some leaders will be going, what? Your cat? Really? Okay. But for that person, a cat, they might not have children. The cat was their world. It could have been 20 years old. So a leader needs to be able to have empathy all over their aura, and they need to understand what is upsetting for one person may not be upsetting for another person. So empathy needs to be regarded. And it's not always regarded. Everybody has different levels of emotion, and that leader needs to understand that. So yeah, empathy, the good one. Now these are already that answers to your first question. But even though you're going to pick 4 or 5 of these headings, in your own words, you are going to describe the headings. So just to make it really easy for you, if you were to pick decision-making capabilities, I want you to do an example of what does decision-making capabilities mean. You need to do a description of what is the decision-making capabilities. That leader can make a decision which affects an ongoing service with the qualities that they need. The decisions are correct. With underlying decisions, the staff are trained to carry out the decision that the leader has made. Example, example, example. So that's how I want you to answer question 1 and 2, I think it is. Yes, it says describe leadership and its qualities. So please. carry on with that. We're going to go through coaching and mentoring, and this will be your answer to task 1 in your own words as well. Moving on. Oops, you've gone dark. Now I need to move the, why isn't the, here we go. Coaching skills. So there is a difference between coaching and leadership, okay? Coaching is more specific in a particular area. If you think of coaches, we always normally think of sport. And when we think of sport, a coach is brilliant at coaching that particular sport. Hockey coach, rugby coach, football coach. You wouldn't get a hockey coach to coach football, would you? Because I'd have no idea. So this is one of your answers. One of them is knowledge. You can see here an in-depth knowledge area, an advanced experience of that particular area they are coaching. If we want to go to the healthcare industry, you may have been coached on your orientation day. You now would have been coached on how to down PPE equipment effectively and safely. So you've had someone coach you in these areas. They have the knowledge and have learned how to do this and are experts in their areas and pass that knowledge down. So going on that, another quality is communication and a little bit of leadership skills to be that coach. When someone has taught you how to how to do a specific task, you hope and expect that if you forget or you're not feeling confident, you can go back to that person and ask, am I doing this correctly? Can you please give me 2 minutes of your time to watch if I'm taking my gloves off safely? Am I washing my hands correctly? So that coach needs to have, the person needs to be able to have communication open. You want to look up to them and respect them, and you expect them to have perfect knowledge in that area. That coach needs to know you as an individual as well, is best. Going to sports, not so much in the healthcare industry. The coach gets to know his players. Every player buzzes off a different communication style. So for instance, some kids will want to be encouraged and a little bit uffied and a little bit loved and a little bit, that is brilliant, you just got to keep going, that you're doing really well. Whereas some sports people would rather be taught, if you don't do it right next time, you're going to do 100 press-ups. So they'll try harder. But others will be demoralized by that way. So that coach needs to know how to get the best out of their employees, their staff, or whoever they're coaching. Okay, so they can communicate with them properly as well. So they need to know that person. They also need to know that person's background. If they're teaching showering, washing, that person might not like to be touched, okay? So it might be you don't pick someone out to demonstrate. You might get to know and pick someone else out that you know you are comfortable with, that doesn't mind being the fool, so to speak, doesn't mind standing up and being that object that the person can show how to do certain things. Cool. I'm jumping around this because they all sort of jump to one another. So your headings are there, but you have to put in your own ways how those headings relate. As you can imagine, a coach has to be passionate and positive, okay? So it has to have that motivation. You've seen it on TV where a coach has gone, oh, you're useless, you're dumb, you lost this because of that and this, that, and the other. I don't personally find that very motivational. To me, I'd be like, yeah, I am useless. I am dumb. I'm out of here. Okay, so 90% of coaches need to always follow up a criticism with a constructive outcome. I don't know if you've ever heard of the positive sandwich. It's absolutely fantastic. You talk about how well someone's done. Then you say about, but this could have been done better. And would you like to practice this a bit harder because this is your downfall? And then the bread at the bottom is, overall, you've done fantastic. You just need to concentrate on one area. That person leaves feeling uplifted, understands what they need to work on because no one's perfect, and will keep on trying. Consistency is your last. Oh, consistency is constantly all over. You should be able to always contact that coach, shouldn't you? Consistency on your behavior as well. You don't want to be a whinger. Actually, if you don't get it 2 or 3 times, maybe you don't understand what the coach is saying. So go around your fellow colleagues before you go back to the coach. Okay. The coach always wants to be approachable and open arms. You don't ever want to be afraid to go to that person either. So that's your little bit of understanding about coaching skills. I want you to think a little bit now when you've been coached, and reflect a little bit. Was that person, did they have all these contents sort of thing? I want you to do a little reflection of when have you actually had to help someone, whether it be a student at work, at school that you're talking to FaceTime. Have you done these communication styles and all these qualities? And I'm going to get you thinking of some real life experience. And when you are now going to be coaching people in the industry, I want you to keep up these particular qualities. And we're going to get you doing that during your practical as well. Cool. You're doing well, guys. You're doing well. Oh, this is what I just literally asked you. Include some coaching skills when you've had to motivate the wellness of your client. So if you've had a client and you've been wanting to get them up and get them out of bed, but they have been a little bit lazy, don't want to do it, what have you done to motivate that client? How have you used your animations, your body language, your words, your communication? If some colleagues, especially students right now, are feeling down and they want to give up or they're overwhelmed, what have you done to motivate them? Okay, and vice versa. What are the few words or few skills someone's done to you, whether it be a little text, offering a chocolate if they give me a thumbs up, to motivate them to keep going and to be positive? Have a little think about that. Cool. All right, mentoring, quite different. Okay, very different actually. A mentor can be anyone, basically anyone. Although a mentor needs to be someone of possibly, I want to say the word authority, someone that you see as a high achiever, someone that you think has done to you is a little bit up there and you think they've done so well in their work. It might not be health related whatsoever. Okay, it could be someone that is now running their own business to do with, I don't know, selling trees, a nursery, fitness. They've started their own car sales business. I don't know, but whatever they've done, they've just grown and grown and grown, and you can see them at the top there now. And to you, they're like, wow, they've done well in their business. They've done well in their work. They've done well in their study. It might be someone that you've left school with, which is now doing a degree in nursing or a doctorate, and you're like, oh, never thought that person would get this. So these people are someone that you possibly would look up to, but still on your wavelength, could be a really good friend. But then again, a mentor you don't actually have to know. Someone could place you with a mentor that you have no idea who they are, but they are on what we call a mentor register. They are a high achiever. They are a good communicator. They have all the skills of a leader, but they also can relate to questions that you could be asking. That's sort of overall describing what a mentor is. I hope that helps you in describing a mentor, and there's a little bit of word on there as well. So if you were ever doing a degree or you may be in a job, sometimes you get put with a person that they say, oh, you're matched up with this person. If you need a problem before you come and see me, go and ask this person first. You might say that could be a bit of a mentor because that person's been there for 8 years. They're a leader in certain skills. They might not be great, but they are informal, formal. They are someone you can go to. Okay. A mentor is normally has a start and finish date. So I'll give you a little example. When I started my job 9 years ago, I had a person, a go-to person, had no idea who he was, didn't even work in my department. He did lorry driving in the logistics area in Greerton to do with Toyo Homai or Bay of Plenty it was. And I had this person for 2 months. And if I had a problem with my software, how to fill out forms, how to cross credit your first aid, how to work Moodle, I could email, contact, ring, go and see this person for 2 months solid. That was my mentor. I should have been able to, if I used him effectively, contact him any hours. Well, not any hours, but it didn't have to be between 9 and 5. I could also, send in an email, flick him a text, asked to meet up with them anytime. So that mentor should actually be flexible in their hours. Some mentors are formal, some are informal. Okay, it depends on your work, depends on why you have a mentor. So formal means that you do need to be setting up meetings. They need to be recorded. They need to be logged. Informal could just be a quick phone call. I've got a problem. I don't know how to access this page in the software on the computer. Can you just give me a quick hand? Or I've got a quick problem. I've forgotten the code to open the door to the sluice room. Okay, so it's someone that was between formal and informal. I hope that makes a bit of sense. If it doesn't make sense, Google the words, please. Second language, if it doesn't make sense, please Google the words. It helps a lot. So formal and informal also comes along structured and unstructured. So with my mentor, they said I had to communicate with them every 2 weeks at least, check in. Okay, so that's structure. Every 2 weeks, I had to communicate with my mentor, whether it be email, text, or phone call. And then they had a log. So it became, even though it was informal, because it was structured, you could almost say it was a little bit more formal as well, just to show that I was using that mentor. Like I just said, mentors can be accessed online, Skype, email, communication, whatever it might be. That mentor, like I've just mentioned, doesn't have to be in the same industry. Ideally, it would be good, but it's not. Like if you're a business of a car salesman, you might have a mentor that is in a business of selling medical equipment. So you're both hierarchy and up there, and you're both in management roles, but of different industries. But you both understand management. Okay, so there's different types of mentors there. A mentor doesn't actually have to be someone in business or industry. You've probably got a mate, a friend, a work colleague that you go to when you do have work problems. Okay, we won't talk about personal problems as such. We'll keep it to work problems. I don't even want to say problems. It might be someone you go to say, I had a great day today, and you might share your rewards and your passions. Okay, but normally a mentor is I did this, or I overheard someone speaking unethically like this, and you might be talking to a colleague and they might share a story that says, well, when that happened in my workplace, this is the procedure we went through. And they're sharing their skills with you because they're in the same industry, but they're your mate and you feel you can confide in them. They could also be a mentor. All right, so it doesn't always have to be someone of a profession. 90% of the time, it is. Yeah. So, and it doesn't always have to be in your workplace, but 99% it is. So when you describe your mentor, which is a little bit more difficult, please make sure you say that they have a start and finish date. Please explain what informal and formal mentors, how they differ. Let me know how you may communicate with your mentor, and say who could possibly be a mentor for you and why would that person be a mentor for you in your work. Hope that makes a little bit of sense. I've talked a lot. Yes, I always do, but I've just condensed this extremely quickly. I'm just going to ask you a few questions. Okay, so here's your qualities of a mentor. You can just look at that. I want you to tell me, give me right now 4 qualities of a leader. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, you got your 4 qualities. Then I want you to expand on them. Okay, expand on why they are qualities. There's your answer. Number 2, describe coaching. Okay, describe a little explanation on coaching, and now give me 4 to 5 qualities of coaching. Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's your answer. And then I want an example on each of why that heading is a quality. A little sentence on why that heading is a quality in coaching. Answer number 3, exactly the same, mentoring. Here's some of your qualities. Why is that person's a mentor? And then I want you to have a little example or description when you've put a heading of a mentor. Right, this is the scaffolding for question number 2, task 2. Okay, this is your scaffolding. So when I leave you here, you're going to answer those first 3 questions. Might only take you about 15 minutes, 20 minutes maybe. Type them into the computer would be fantastic. Use your own words when describing, but take the headings from the PowerPoints. When you're using and you're writing it down, I want you to think up here about your leaders at your workplace, who you've been coached by at your workplace, and maybe who you've coached or who you've mentored or who you've led. Task 2 coming up, guys. Here we go. Have a stretch, have a dance, have a boogie.